The galactic stage. Earth's apparent vulnerability. In the vast expanse of the Milky Way, countless civilizations had risen and fallen, their histories etched into the cosmic tapestry. Among these, the Galactic Confederation stood as a beacon of advanced technology and interstellar cooperation. Comprised of over 1,000 sentient species, the Confederation prided itself on its diplomatic prowess and military might. Yet, on the fringes of known space, a small blue planet called Earth remained an enigma. For centuries, the Confederation had observed Earth from afar, categorizing it as a Class 3 developing world. To the casual observer, Earth appeared primitive, its inhabitants still grappling with internal conflicts and only beginning to explore their own solar system. The Confederation's policy of non-interference with developing worlds meant that Earth was left to its own devices, deemed unworthy of official contact or membership. Admiral Zixnera, a veteran of the Confederation's exploratory fleet, gazed at the holographic projection of Earth floating before her. Her iridescent scales shimmered in the dim light of her command center aboard the massive ship Stellar Envoy. Such a fragile world, she mused, her multifaceted eyes scanning the data scrolling beside the image. Rich in resources, yet so vulnerable. It's a wonder they've survived this long without being conquered. Her second in command, a towering insectoid named Click-Clack, clicked his mandibles in agreement. Indeed, Admiral. Our latest scans show they've barely managed to establish a permanent presence on their moon. No energy shields, no antimatter weapons, not even a basic planetary defense grid. Admiral Zixnera's tendrils curled in contemplation. And yet, the Council insists we maintain our distance. There's something about these humans that unsettles them. As if on cue, a communication request flashed on the main screen. The Admiral accepted, and the holographic form of Counselor Eloreth, an ancient energy being, materialized before them. Admiral Zixnera. The Counselor's voice resonated, carrying the weight of millennia. I trust you've reviewed the latest reports on Earth. Yes, Counselor. Though I must admit, I find the Council's caution excessive. Earth seems ripe for integration into the Confederation, or at the very least, for resource extraction. Eloreth's form pulsed, a sign of agitation. Your assessment is based on incomplete data. Admiral, there's more to humans than meets the eye. We have reason to believe they possess hidden strengths. Flick-Clack's antennae twitched with curiosity. Hidden strengths, Counselor. Our scans show no evidence of advanced technology or formidable defenses. Not all strength lies in technology, Commander, Eloreth replied. Humans have a remarkable ability to adapt, to overcome obstacles that would crush other species. They've survived global wars, natural disasters, and near-extinction events. Each time, they've emerged stronger. Admiral Zixnera's scales rippled with skepticism. With all due respect, Counselor, many species have overcome adversity. What makes humans so special? Eloreth's form shimmered, projecting a series of historical images from Earth. Observe their history, Admiral. Time and again, when faced with overwhelming odds, humans have displayed an uncanny ability to innovate, to unite, and to triumph. It's not just their technology we must consider, but their spirit. The images showed humans in various stages of their development, from primitive toolmakers to builders of great civilizations, from world wars to the first steps on their moon. Furthermore, Eloreth continued, we have reason to believe that Earth's apparent vulnerability is a carefully constructed facade. This caught the Admiral's attention. A facade? You mean they're deliberately hiding their true capabilities? Precisely, Eloreth confirmed. Our most sensitive long-range scans have detected anomalies, brief energy spikes, unexplained gravitational fluctuations, and electromagnetic disturbances that suggest the presence of highly advanced technology. Click-Clack's compound eyes widened. But how is this possible? Surely our routine surveys would have detected such advancements. Eloreth's form pulsed with what could only be described as admiration. That, Commander, is the true genius of humanity. They have not only developed in secret, but have also mastered the art of concealment on a planetary scale. We believe they possess cloaking technology far beyond anything in the Confederation's arsenal. Admiral Zixnera's tendrils coiled tightly, a sign of deep thought. If this is true, Counselor, then Earth is not the vulnerable world we believed it to be. It's a potential powder keg. Indeed, Admiral. And that is why we maintain our distance. We do not wish to provoke a civilization that has gone to such lengths to appear harmless. The question that haunts the Council is, what are they preparing for? As if to underscore Eloreth's words, a sudden alert blared through the command center. Click-clack rushed to a nearby console, his claws flying over the controls. Admiral, we're detecting a massive energy surge from Earth's direction. All eyes turned to the holographic display of Earth, which now pulsed with an eerie, otherworldly glow. For a brief moment, the facade flickered, revealing glimpses of structures and ships that defy the Confederation's understanding of physics. Admiral Zixnera watched in awe and trepidation as Earth's true face was momentarily unveiled. By the cosmic void, she whispered, "What have they become?" Counselor Eloreth's form began to fade, but his parting words hung heavily in the air. "Now you understand, Admiral. Earth is not a world to be conquered or pitied. It is a sleeping giant, and we must tread carefully lest we awaken it. For if humanity ever decides to reveal its true power, the galaxy as we know it will never be the same." As the hologram disappeared, Admiral Zixnera and her crew stood in stunned silence, the implications of what they had witnessed slowly sinking in. Earth, the seemingly primitive world on the galactic fringe, was suddenly the most intriguing and terrifying mystery in the known universe. In the depths of space, the stellar envoy hung motionless, its crew contemplating the true nature of the blue planet that had hidden in plain sight for so long. And on Earth, blissfully unaware of the stir they had caused, humanity continued its secret preparations, ready to face whatever the cosmos might throw their way. Little did the Confederation know, this was just the beginning. The stage was set for a revelation that would shake the foundations of galactic society and redefine Earth's place among the stars. The incident, first contact gone wrong. The tension aboard the stellar envoy was palpable in the days following the mysterious energy surge from Earth. Admiral Zixnera had ordered her crew to maintain their distance, but curiosity gnawed at them all. The Confederation's strict non-interference policy suddenly felt like a chain, holding them back from uncovering the truth about this enigmatic world. It was during the third rotation of their silent vigil that fate decided to force their hand. Alarm klaxons blared through the ship, jolting the Admiral from her meditation chamber. She rushed to the bridge, her iridescent scales flickering with concern. "Report," she barked as she entered. Click-clack's mandibles clicked rapidly, a sign of agitation. "Admiral, we've detected an unauthorized launch from the Kraxtor scout ship. They've broken formation and are heading directly for Earth's atmosphere." Zixnera's tendrils coiled in anger. The Kraxtor were known for their impulsiveness and disregard for protocol. "Hail them immediately." The main viewscreen flickered to life, revealing the smug face of Captain Vexcor, his tentacles writhing with barely contained excitement. "Ah, Admiral. Apologies for the abrupt departure, but we simply couldn't resist a closer look." "You fool," Zixnera hissed. "Return to formation immediately. You're violating direct orders from the Council." Vexcor's eye stalks swiveled dismissively. "Come now, Admiral. Where's your sense of adventure? These humans won't even know we're here. Our cloaking technology is state-of-the-art." Before Zixnera could respond, a blinding flash of light erupted on the view screen. The Kraxtor ship tumbled end over end, its cloaking field sputtering and failing. "By the void," Click-clack exclaimed. "What hit them?" The answer came swiftly and decisively. A sleek, silver craft materialized seemingly out of nowhere, its design unlike anything in the Confederation's database. It moved with impossible speed and precision, effortlessly outmaneuvering the now panicking Crackster vessel. "This is Earth Defense Force Interceptor Alpha." A calm, authoritative voice transmission cut through the chaos. "Unauthorized vessel, you have breached Earth's sovereign space. Power down your systems and prepare to be boarded." The bridge of the stellar envoy erupted into a flurry of activity. Sensor readings scrolled across multiple screens, each one more unbelievable than the last. "Admiral," one of the science officers reported, her voice quavering. "That human ship, it's not using any propulsion system we recognize. Its energy readings are off the charts." Zixnera watched in awe as the Earth vessel effortlessly corralled the much larger Crackster scout ship. "Open a channel to the human ship," she ordered. "This is Admiral Zixnera of the Galactic Confederation. There's been a misunderstanding. The vessel you've intercepted is—" "We are well aware of who they are, Admiral," the human voice interrupted, tinged with a hint of amusement. "Just as we're aware of your presence and have been for quite some time. Your non-interference policy has been noted." The implications of that statement sent a shiver through Zixnera's scales. They knew. All this time, they knew they were being watched. "Perhaps," the human continued, "it's time we had a proper introduction. We'll be escorting our uninvited guests to our lunar facility. Your presence is requested as well, Admiral. It seems we have much to discuss." As the transmission cut off, the Earth ship and its captive disappeared in a flash of light that defied all known laws of physics. Click-clack turned to Zixnera, his compound eyes reflecting the stunned expressions of the entire bridge crew. "Admiral, what are your orders?" Zixnera took a deep breath, her mind racing with the possibilities and dangers that lay ahead. "It seems, my friend, that we've been invited to a first contact scenario, unlike any in Confederation history. Alert the Council. Tell them that everything we thought we knew about Earth has just been turned on its head." As the stellar envoy cautiously made its way towards Earth's moon, following the coordinates provided by the human vessel, the true scale of humanity's deception began to unfold before their eyes. The lunar surface, once thought to be dotted with primitive research outposts, shimmered and transformed. A massive, gleaming city materialized, its architecture a breathtaking blend of function and artistry. Huge energy domes protected sprawling habitats, while sleek ships of various sizes darted in and out of hidden hangars. "Impossible," whispered one of the bridge officers. "Our surveys, our scans. We're seeing exactly what the humans wanted us to see," Zixnera finished, a newfound respect coloring her voice. As they approached the designated landing area, a vast hangar bay opened up like a blooming flower, effortlessly swallowing both the stellar envoy and the captured Crackster ship. The moment they touched down, gravity adjusted to Earth normal without so much as a hiccup in the ship's systems. "They've matched our gravitational preferences perfectly," Click-clack noted, his scientific curiosity overriding his apprehension. "The level of technology required for such precise environmental control is, well, it should be beyond any single species' capabilities." Zixnera nodded grimly. "It seems, old friend, that we drastically underestimated the humans. The question now is, why? Why go to such lengths to appear vulnerable?" As if in answer to her question, the main view screen lit up with an incoming transmission. The face that appeared belonged to a human female, her dark skin contrasting sharply with the silver uniform she wore. Her eyes, however, held a depth of knowledge that belied her youthful appearance. "Greetings, Admiral Zixnera. I am Commander Aisha Chen of the Earth Defense Force. Welcome to Luna Base Alpha. If you and your senior staff would kindly disembark, we have much to discuss. Oh, and don't worry about your Crackster friends. They're being debriefed as we speak." The subtle emphasis on debriefed sent another shiver through Zixnera's scales. She had a feeling that Captain Vexcor was about to have a very uncomfortable conversation. As Zixnera led her team off the stellar envoy, She couldn't shake the feeling that they were walking into a situation that would forever change the balance of power in the galaxy. The humans, it seemed, were done playing the role of the primitive species on the galactic fringe. They stepped onto the immaculate floor of the hangar bay, marveling at the seamless integration of technology and design. Human personnel moved about with purpose, barely sparing a glance at the alien visitors. It was clear that this was not their first interaction with extraterrestrial life. Commander Chen greeted them personally, her posture radiating confidence and authority. "Admiral, welcome to Earth's little hidden corner of the solar system. I trust your journey was enlightening." Zixnera drew herself up to her full height, determined to maintain her composure in the face of this paradigm-shifting revelation. "Commander Chen, I believe you owe us an explanation. The level of deception your species has maintained." "Deception?" Chen interrupted, her eyebrow arching. "Or prudence, Admiral? You'll forgive us if we chose to be cautious in a galaxy that views developing worlds as little more than resources to be exploited or primitives to be patronized." She gestured for them to follow her into the heart of the base. As they walked, holographic displays sprang to life around them, showcasing Earth's true technological marvels. Antimatter reactors, zero-point energy modules, and devices that seemed to bend the very fabric of space-time. For centuries, Chen continued, we watched and listened. We intercepted your transmissions, reverse-engineered the technology from your probe, and prepared. Not for war, Admiral, but for the day when we could finally step onto the galactic stage as equals. They entered a vast chamber that seemed to be the nerve center of the entire operation. Here, humans worked alongside AI constructs and holographic interfaces that made the Confederation's most advanced systems look primitive by comparison. But why reveal yourselves now? Click-clack asked, his scientific mind racing to process everything he was seeing. Surely you could have maintained this charade indefinitely. Commander Chen's expression turned grave. Because, my dear Commander, the galaxy is changing. There are threats on the horizon that even the Confederation is blind to. Threats that humanity has been preparing to face for generations. She waved her hand, and the room transformed into a three-dimensional star map of the galaxy. Red markers pulsed ominously at the edges. We've detected anomalies, Chen explained. Signs of a force so ancient and powerful that it makes your Confederation look like a group of squabbling children. We believe they've been dormant for millions of years, but they're stirring now. And when they awaken fully, no single species will be able to stand against them. Zixnera felt a chill run down her spine. You're saying? I'm saying, Admiral, that the age of secrets is over. Earth is ready to take its place in the galactic community not as a primitive world to be protected or exploited, but as the vanguard against a threat that could wipe out all sentient life. As the implications of Chen's words sank in, Zixnera realized that this was more than just a first contact gone wrong. It was the dawn of a new era, one where humanity would play a central role in shaping the destiny of the entire galaxy. The incident that brought them here, a simple scout ship's unauthorized incursion, had unwittingly pulled back the curtain on humanity's true nature. And now, as they stood in the heart of a lunar base that shouldn't exist, surrounded by technology that defied explanation, Zixnera understood the truth. Earth had never been defenseless. It had been patiently waiting, growing stronger in secret, preparing for a war that the rest of the galaxy didn't even know was coming. As Commander Chen prepared to reveal the full extent of the looming threat, Zixnera couldn't help but wonder. Had the Confederation's patronizing attitude towards Earth been its greatest mistake? And more importantly, were they ready to stand alongside humanity in the face of an enemy that threatened all of creation? The answers to these questions would shape the future of galactic civilization. And at the center of it all stood humanity. No longer the primitives on the fringes, but the key to survival itself. The investigation. Unraveling Earth's mysteries. In the days following the revelation of Earth's true technological prowess, the Galactic Confederation found itself in a state of unprecedented turmoil. The news of humanity's deception and advanced capabilities spread like wildfire through the myriad civilizations that made up the interstellar community. Counselor Eloreth, the ancient energy being who had long advocated for caution regarding Earth, now found himself at the center of a political maelstrom. The Confederation's Grand Assembly chamber buzzed with heated debates and accusations. "You knew," bellowed Grokter, the hulking representative of the warrior Krull species. "You knew of their power and kept it from us." Eloreth's form pulsed calmly, a stark contrast to the chaos around him. "I suspected, but I did not know. The humans' ability to conceal their true nature is, beyond anything we've encountered." Admiral Zixnera stood before the assembly, her recent first-hand experience with Earth's revelations making her a reluctant expert. "Honored representatives," she began, her voice cutting through the din. "What I've witnessed on Earth's moon defies explanation by our current understanding of physics and technology. But more importantly, the humans speak of a threat that dwarfs any conflict our Confederation has faced." A hush fell over the chamber as the implications of her words sank in. It was Click-Clack, standing beside the Admiral, who broke the silence. "We propose a formal investigation. A delegation of our best scientists, diplomats, and military minds to work alongside the humans. We must understand not only their technological advancements, but also the nature of this looming threat they've detected." The motion was met with a mixture of eager agreement and suspicious murmurs. In the end, the vote was unanimous. The Confederation would send its finest to Earth, not as superior beings deigning to study a primitive world, but as equals seeking to learn and prepare. Weeks later, the investigation team found themselves back on Luna Base Alpha, this time with a mandate to delve deep into the mysteries of human advancement. The team was a diverse group, representing the best minds from across the Confederation. Dr. Zilixa, a quantum scientist known for her groundbreaking work in quantum mechanics, marveled at the holographic displays in the lunar base's main research hub. "Impossible," she muttered, her multiple eyes blinking in rapid succession. "They've achieved quantum entanglement on a macro scale. The energy requirements alone should be astronomical," finished a smiling human scientist, Dr. Elias Wong. "That was true, until we cracked the code on zero-point energy extraction." He waved his hand, and a complex schematic appeared in the air before them. "This is our ZPE matrix. It taps into the quantum foam of space-time itself, providing near-limitless clean energy." Across the room, Grelthor, a grizzled Krell military strategist, watched with a mixture of awe and trepidation as human pilots demonstrated their neural link flight systems. The sleek spacecraft responded to the pilot's thoughts with a speed and precision that made traditional controls look primitive by comparison. "Impressive," Grelthor grudgingly admitted to Commander Chen, who stood beside him. "But surely such intimate man-machine interface comes with risks." Chen's expression turned somber. "It did in the early days. We lost good people to neural feedback loops and sensory overload. But necessity drove innovation. The threats we've detected, they operate on timescales that make traditional reaction speeds inadequate." The Krell warrior's eyes narrowed. "These threats, we've seen hints in your reports, but no concrete details. What exactly are we facing?" Chen led Grelthor to a secure briefing room, where holographic star charts sprang to life around them. "We call them the Omega entities," she began, her voice low. "Ancient, incomprehensibly powerful beings that exist in the spaces between galaxies. They feed on energy, all energy, including the very life force of entire civilizations." The star chart zoomed in on a section of the galactic fringe, where entire star systems pulsed an ominous red. "These are the areas where we've detected their influence growing. Subtle at first, inexplicable power fluctuations, bizarre gravitational anomalies. But as they awaken further, the effects become catastrophic. Entire planets drained of energy, reduced to lifeless husks." Grelthor's warrior spirit, honed through countless battles, felt a chill of genuine fear for the first time. "By the cosmic forge, How do you fight such beings? Chen's eyes gleamed with fierce determination. With every tool at our disposal. Advanced technology, yes, but also with the one thing that's allowed humanity to survive every challenge we faced: adaptability. As the investigation continued, the Confederation team found themselves continuously astounded by the depth and breadth of human innovation. In the medical labs, they witnessed nanobots that could repair cellular damage at the molecular level, effectively granting near immortality. In the physics department, scientists grappled with prototype devices that could manipulate the very fabric of space-time, creating localized pockets of altered reality. But it was in the cultural exchanges that the true strength of humanity began to shine through. Ambassador Lyria, an empathic being from a race of natural diplomats, found herself overwhelmed by the sheer diversity of human cultures and philosophies. How? She asked a group of human social scientists, her bioluminescent skin pulsing with curiosity. How do you maintain unity with such vast differences? Dr. Amelia Okafor, a renowned anthropologist, smiled warmly. It's not always easy, she admitted. We've had our share of conflicts, misunderstandings, even wars. But we've learned that our diversity is our greatest strength. Different perspectives, different approaches, they all contribute to our ability to innovate and adapt. As the days turned to weeks, and weeks to months, the investigation team's reports back to the Confederation painted a picture of a species unlike any they had encountered before. Humans were not just technologically advanced. They were a paradox of unity and diversity, of ruthless practicality and soaring idealism. In the Grand Assembly Chamber, Councillor Elorath presented the latest findings to the gathered representatives. We have underestimated the humans in every possible way, he concluded. Their technology, yes, but more importantly, their spirit. They do not merely adapt to challenges, they thrive on them. Each obstacle they face only serves to make them stronger, more innovative. A murmur ran through the assembly. It was Grokter, the once belligerent Krell representative, who spoke up. Then we must count ourselves fortunate, he rumbled, surprising many with his words. For if these Omega entities are as great a threat as the humans claim, we will need their strength and ingenuity to face what comes. Back on Earth, as the investigation team prepared to present their final report, a new signal pinged on the long-range sensors of Luna Base Alpha. Commander Chen's face paled as she interpreted the data. It's happening, she whispered, her voice carrying the weight of years of preparation and dread. They're waking up. The Omega entities. They're stirring far faster than we anticipated. Admiral Zixnera, who had chosen to remain with the investigation team, felt her scales ripple with a mix of fear and anticipation. Then it seems, Commander, that the true test of humanity's capabilities is about to begin. As alarms began to sound throughout the lunar base, humans and aliens alike rushed to battle stations. The investigation was over. Now, it was time for action. The fate of not just Earth or the Confederation, but of all life in the galaxy, hung in the balance. And at the forefront of this cosmic battle stood humanity, no longer hiding, no longer pretending to be less than they were. They stood ready, their hidden strength now a beacon of hope for a galaxy on the brink of an unimaginable war. The Omega entities were awakening, but they would soon learn that humanity was far from the easy prey they might have expected. The galaxy was about to witness firsthand why Earth had never truly been defenseless, and why, perhaps, it had been the rest of the universe that needed protecting all along. The crisis. Threat to Earth and humanity's response. The vast reaches of space, once thought to be silent and empty, now thrummed with an ominous energy. The Omega entities, ancient beyond comprehension, were stirring from their cosmic slumber. Their awakening sent ripples through the fabric of space-time, causing gravitational anomalies and energy fluctuations that played havoc with the sensors of both human and Confederation ships. On Luna Base Alpha, the command center had transformed into a hive of frantic activity. Holographic displays showed the encroaching wave of disturbances, creeping ever closer to populated systems. Commander Aisha Chen stood at the center of the storm, her calm demeanor a stark contrast to the chaos around her. "Status report," she demanded, her voice cutting through the din. Dr. Elias Wong, his usual jovial manner replaced by grim determination, stepped forward. "The quantum foam destabilization is accelerating, Commander. At this rate, we have less than 72 hours before the first Omega entity fully manifests in our galaxy." Admiral Zixnera, who had become an unofficial liaison between Earth and the Confederation, felt her scales ripple with dread. Where will it appear? A star map materialized in the air, zooming in on a cluster of systems near the galactic core. A pulsing red dot marked the projected manifestation point. "By the void," Zixnera whispered. "That's the Tsendi homeworld system. Billions of lives." Commander Chen's eyes hardened. "Not if we can help it. It's time to activate Project Aegis." The word sent a ripple of anticipation through the human personnel in the room. The Confederation representatives exchanged puzzled glances. "Project Aegis?" inquired Click-Clack, his antennae twitching with curiosity. Chen nodded to Dr. Wong, who brought up a new set of schematics. "Project Aegis is our last line of defense against the Omega entities," he explained. "A network of quantum field generators capable of creating a barrier that can repel even these cosmic horrors." The display showed a web of sleek, angular devices, each crackling with energy that defied conventional physics. "We've had them in storage, waiting for this moment," Chen added. "Now we need to deploy them across the galaxy, creating a protective network." Grelthor, the Krell warrior who had come to respect humanity's martial prowess, leaned in to study the schematics. "Impressive," he rumbled. "But surely the energy requirements for such a network would be astronomical." Dr. Wong finished with a grim smile. "They are. That's where we need the Confederation's help. Each of these generators needs to be powered by a zero-point energy tap, drawing power from the quantum foam of space itself. We have the technology, but we need your fastest ships to deploy them in time." Admiral Zixnera straightened, her military training kicking in. "You'll have them. I'll contact the Confederation fleet immediately." As the command center erupted into a flurry of activity, coordinating the largest joint operation in galactic history, a noob alert blared from the sensor stations. "Commander," called out a young lieutenant, her face pale. "We're detecting a massive energy surge from the Xindi system. It's like nothing we've ever seen." The main view screen flickered to life, showing a real-time feed from long-range sensors. The space around the Xindi homeworld seemed to warp and twist, reality itself buckling under some immense unseen pressure. Then, with a flash that momentarily overloaded the sensors, it appeared. The Omega entity defied description. It was at once massive beyond comprehension, and yet seemed to exist partially outside of normal space. Its form shifted and writhed, tentacles of dark energy reaching out to caress the nearby planets. Where they touched, the worlds began to dim, their very life force being drained away. "Merciful cosmos," breathed Zixnera, her voice barely a whisper. Commander Chen's voice cut through the stunned silence. "This is not a drill, people. Operation Aegis is now active. All ships, prepare for immediate deployment." Across the solar system, hidden shipyards burst into life. Vessels that had been constructed in secret over decades emerged from camouflaged docks on Mars, the moons of Jupiter, and even the icy reaches of the Kuiper Belt. Each ship was a marvel of human engineering, designed to be crewed by a mixture of humans, A's, and now, their Confederation allies. On Earth itself, humanity held its breath. The veil of secrecy had been fully lifted, and citizens the world over watched in awe as their hidden fleets took to the skies. Centuries of preparation, of quiet advancement and secret innovation, had led to this moment. Admiral Zixnera found herself aboard the flagship of this joint armada, a colossal vessel called the Horizon's Dawn. As the ship accelerated out of Earth's orbit, she marveled at the seamless integration of human and Confederation technology. Screens flickered with faster-than-light calculations that pushed the boundaries of known physics, while the ship's quantum core hummed with barely contained power. "Admiral," came Commander Chen's voice over the comms. "The Xindi home fleet is engaging the entity, but they're being overwhelmed. We need to get those Aegis generators in place now." Zixnera nodded grimly. "Understood, Commander. All ships, prepare for emergency FTL jump. May the cosmic winds be at our backs." As the Armada prepared to make the leap into the unknown, Dr. Wang's voice crackled over the comms from Luna Base. "Remember, once the generators are in place, they'll create a quantum field that should repel the entity. But be warned, we're dealing with forces beyond our full comprehension. Anything could happen." With a flash of light that momentarily outshone the sun, the combined fleet of humanity and the Confederation vanished from the solar system, racing towards a battle that would determine the fate of all life in the galaxy. They emerged from FTL on the edges of the Xindi system, and the scene that greeted them was one of cosmic horror. The Omega entity had grown, its dark tendrils now encompassing several planets. The once vibrant worlds were gray and lifeless, their energy completely drained. The remnants of the Xindi defense fleet drifted lifelessly, their ships as drained and empty as the worlds they had tried to protect. "By all that's holy," whispered Grelthor, his warrior's heart heavy with the sight of such devastation. But there was no time for mourning. The joint fleet sprang into action, ships peeling off in pre-assigned groups to begin deploying the Aegis generators at strategic points throughout the system. As the Horizon's Dawn moved into position, the Omega entity seemed to take notice of the newcomers. A tendril of dark energy, vast beyond imagining, began to reach towards them. "Evasive maneuvers," shouted Zixnera, her training kicking in despite the unprecedented nature of their foe. The ship's AI, working in perfect harmony with its human and alien crew, executed a series of turns that should have been impossible for a vessel of its size. They avoided the direct touch of the entity, but the near miss sent systems haywire across the ship. "Admiral," called out the human weapons officer, Lieutenant Kira Chen, no relation to the commander. "The quantum torpedoes are armed and ready. Permission to engage." Zixnera hesitated for a split second. They had no idea how the entity would react to a direct attack. But as she watched another Confederation cruiser fall dark and lifeless, its energy drained in an instant, she made her decision. "Fire at will, Lieutenant. Let's give this cosmic horror a taste of what humanity and the Confederation can do when we stand together." The Horizon's Dawn shuddered as it unleashed its full arsenal. Quantum torpedoes, gravity lances, and weapons that defied classification streaked towards the Omega entity. For a moment, it seemed as if even these incredible armaments would be as nothing against such a vast alien consciousness. But then, miraculously, the entity recoiled. A sound that could only be described as a scream of pain and rage echoed through subspace, rattling the very atoms of every being in the system. "It's working," shouted Grelthor, his voice filled with fierce joy. "Press the attack." As the combined fleet engaged the entity, buying time and creating a distraction, other ships raced to complete the Aegis network. One by one, the generators came online, each adding its strength to a growing web of quantum energy. On the bridge of the Horizon's Dawn, alarms blared as the entity lashed out, its attacks growing more frenzied and desperate as it sensed the trap closing around it. Aegis network at 60% capacity, reported Click-Clack, his multiple limbs dancing across the control panels. 70%, 80%. The ship rocked violently as a glancing blow from the entity overloaded several systems. Sparks flew on the bridge, and for a moment, it seemed as if they might not survive to see their plan come to fruition. But in that darkest moment, something remarkable happened. The comm channels, which had been filled with the chatter of military coordination, suddenly erupted with a cacophony of voices. From Earth, from 1,000 Confederation worlds, and even from the few survivors they'd managed to rescue from the Xindi planets, came a chorus of hope and defiance. Humans and aliens alike, united in the face of cosmic terror, lent their voices and their will to the defenders. It was not a physical force, not something that could be measured by any instrument, but in that moment, it made all the difference. Aegis network at 100% capacity. Flick-Clack's voice rose above the din. Activating now. The quantum web flared to life, a lattice of pure energy that encompassed the entire star system. For a moment, nothing seemed to happen. The entity raged on, its dark tendrils still grasping for the ships that defied it. Then, with a flash that outshone the system's sun, the quantum field fully engaged. The laws of physics reasserted themselves with a vengeance, and the Omega entity found itself faced with a barrier it could not overcome. A keening wail echoed through subspace as the entity thrashed against the quantum web. But the combined will of humanity and the Confederation held firm. Slowly, inexorably, the cosmic horror was pushed back, forced to retreat to the dark spaces between galaxies from which it had emerged. As the last traces of the entity vanished from normal space, a stunned silence fell over the fleet. They had done it. They had faced a threat beyond imagination and emerged victorious. Admiral Zixnera looked around the battered bridge of the horizon's dawn, saw the determined faces of humans and aliens working side by side, and felt a swell of emotions she couldn't quite name. "Send word to Earth and the Confederation," she said, her voice thick with exhaustion and pride. "The Xindi system is secured. The entity is repelled." She paused, then added, "And let them know. The galaxy will never be the same again." As the message was relayed across the stars, cheers erupted on 1,000 worlds. Humanity had revealed its true strength, not just in technology and firepower, but in its indomitable spirit and its ability to unite even the most diverse allies in the face of cosmic peril. The crisis had been averted, but all knew this was just the beginning. The Omega entities were still out there, and more would come. But now, the galaxy faced the threat not as separate, squabbling races, but as a united force, with humanity and its remarkable adaptability at its heart. As the horizon's dawn set a course back to Earth, Admiral Zixnera couldn't help but smile. The humans had hidden their true nature for so long, playing the role of a primitive species, but now their hidden strength was a beacon of hope for all. The age of secrets was over. The age of unity had begun, and whatever cosmic horrors awaited them in the vast, dark reaches of space, they would face them together. The new era, Earth's place in the galactic order. The return of the joint Human Confederation fleet to Earth was met with scenes of jubilation unlike anything the planet had ever witnessed. As the horizon's dawn and its accompanying vessels descended through the atmosphere, the skies above every major city lit up with holographic displays, broadcasting the arrival to billions. Gone was the need for secrecy. Humanity's hidden strength was now a beacon of hope for the entire galaxy, and Earth opened its arms to its cosmic allies with unbridled enthusiasm. In New York, the traditional headquarters of the United Nations had been transformed overnight into the Galactic Cooperation Center. Its soaring spires now house representatives from hundreds of alien races, all eager to learn from the species that had stood against an Omega entity and emerged victorious. It was here, in a grand chamber that seamlessly blended human aesthetics with alien architectural concepts, that Admiral Zixnera found herself addressing the newly formed Galactic Council. "Honored representatives," she began, her scales shimmering under the soft light. "The events we have witnessed mark a turning point in our shared history. The threat of the Omega entities is far from over, but for the first time, we face this peril united." The chamber, filled with beings of all shapes, sizes, and compositions, listened in rapt attention. Some floated in anti-gravity fields, others shimmed in and out of phase, while yet others existed as pure energy. But all were focused on the Admiral's words. "Humanity," Zixnera continued, "has shown us that true strength lies not just in technology or military might, but in adaptability, in the will to survive against all odds, and in the power of unity and diversity. As she spoke, holographic displays activated around the chamber, showing scenes from the battle against the Omega entity. The assembled representatives watched in awe as human ingenuity, combined with Confederation support, turned the tide against a cosmic horror. In the front row, Commander Aisha Chen sat alongside Dr. Elias Wong and a delegation of Earth's top scientists and military leaders. Chen caught Zixnera's eye and gave a subtle nod of appreciation. The journey from hiding their capabilities to openly sharing them with the galaxy had been a long and sometimes painful one, but now it felt right. Moving forward, Zixnera announced, we propose a new structure for galactic cooperation. No longer will we be a loose confederation, nor will Earth stand apart. Instead, we shall form the United Galactic Alliance, with Earth and humanity taking their rightful place as equal partners in our shared future. The proposal was met with thunderous approval. Species that had once looked down on humanity as primitive now clamored to establish deeper ties with Earth. The adaptability and innovative spirit that humans had cultivated over centuries of pretended weakness were now recognized as vital assets in the face of cosmic threats. As the formalities of establishing the new alliance continued, life across Earth and the galaxy began to transform. The hidden technologies that humanity had developed in secret were now shared openly, sparking a renaissance of scientific and cultural exchange. On Mars, vast terraforming projects that had been quietly underway for decades were unveiled, showing the red planet rapidly transforming into a second home for humanity and a hub for interstellar commerce. The moons of Jupiter and Saturn, long home to secret research bases, became thriving colonies and technological marvels that attracted scientists and innovators from across the galaxy. Earth's cities underwent a stunning metamorphosis. Arcologies that had been hidden underground or disguised as mundane buildings now rose proudly into the sky. Transportation grids shifted to accommodate not just ground and air traffic, but spacecraft from 100 worlds. The streets became a vibrant tapestry of human and alien cultures coexisting and collaborating. In universities across the globe, lecture halls were filled with a mix of human and alien students and professors. The exchange of knowledge flowed both ways. Humanity shared its unique perspectives and problem-solving approaches, while alien scholars introduced concepts that revolutionized fields from physics to philosophy. But it wasn't all smooth sailing. The sudden shift from a society built on secrecy to one of open galactic cooperation came with its challenges. Some humans struggled to adapt to the new reality, fearful of the rapid changes and the influx of alien influences. Conservative factions argued for a return to isolation, warning of the potential dangers of sharing Earth's hard-won technological advantages. It was in addressing these concerns that humanity's leaders truly shone. In a globally broadcast address, the Secretary-General of the United Nations, Dr. Kira Patel, spoke directly to these fears. "My fellow humans," she began, her voice calm but filled with conviction. "For centuries, we have hidden our true potential, believing that secrecy was our best defense. But in facing the Omega entity, we learned a profound truth. Our greatest strength lies not in what we can do alone, but in what we can achieve together." She gestured to the holographic images floating beside her, showing humans and aliens working side by side on projects ranging from deep space exploration to environmental restoration. "Look around you," Dr. Patel continued. "The knowledge we now have access to is advancing medical science at an unprecedented rate. Diseases that have plagued us for millennia are on the verge of eradication. Our understanding of the universe has grown exponentially, and yes, our ability to defend not just Earth, but all sentient life has never been stronger." Her words resonated across the planet and beyond. Slowly but surely, even the most skeptical began to see the benefits of this new era of cooperation. As the months turned to years, the United Galactic Alliance grew stronger. The Aegis network, initially created to repel the Omega entity, was expanded to cover vulnerable systems across the galaxy. But it was more than just a defensive measure. It became a symbol of the unity and shared purpose that now bound thousands of civilizations together. Research into the nature of the Omega entities continued at a feverish pace. Teams made up of the brightest minds from 100 worlds worked tirelessly to understand these cosmic horrors and develop new strategies to counter them. Humanity's out-of-the-box thinking, combined with the vast knowledge base of their alien allies, led to breakthroughs that would have been impossible for any one species working alone. 5 years after the battle that changed everything, Admiral Zixnera stood on the observation deck of Harmony Station, a massive space habitat that orbited the Sun at the L1 point between Earth and Mars. Beside her was Commander Chen, now serving as Earth's representative to the Galactic Defense Force. "Did you ever imagine it would turn out like this?" Zixnera asked, her gaze taking in the bustling activity around them. Ships of all shapes and sizes docked and departed, carrying beings from every corner of the known universe. Chen smiled, a mix of pride and wonder in her eyes. "Honestly, no. We prepared for so long, always believing we'd face the darkness alone. This," she gestured at the vibrant scene before them, "this is beyond anything we could have hoped for." As they watched, a sleek vessel emerged from the station's main hangar. It was the newest class of exploration ship, designed to probe the very edges of the galaxy. Its crew was a mix of humans, Confederation species, and even a few beings from races that had only recently joined the Alliance. The Unity, Zixnera noted, reading the ship's name, a fitting title for these times. As the Unity engaged its drives, preparing to embark on a journey that would push the boundaries of known space, both the Admiral and the Commander felt a sense of profound optimism. The galaxy still held countless mysteries and untold dangers. The Omega entities were still out there, a threat that could reemerge at any time. But now they faced these challenges not as separate, squabbling races, but as a united front. Humanity's hidden strength had become the cornerstone of a new galactic civilization, one built on mutual respect, shared knowledge, and an unshakable determination to not just survive, but to thrive in the face of any obstacle the universe might throw at them. As the Unity disappeared in a flash of faster-than-light travel, Chen turned to Zixnera with a grin. "You know, there's an old human saying that seems particularly apt right now." "Oh," the Admiral's scales rippled with curiosity. "And what's that?" "The best is yet to come." As those words hung in the air between them, both leaders turned their gaze back to the stars. The future was uncertain, filled with both promise and peril, but one thing was clear: humanity had stepped out of the shadows and onto the galactic stage, and the universe would never be the same again. In cities across Earth, in colonies throughout the solar system, and on countless worlds beyond, beings of all kinds looked up at the night sky with a new sense of wonder and purpose. The age of secrecy was over. The age of unity had begun. And together, they were ready to face whatever the cosmos had in store. For humanity had finally revealed its hidden strength, and in doing so, had not only secured its own future, but had become a guiding light for all sentient life in the galaxy. The story of Earth's rise from a seemingly defenseless world to a linchpin of galactic civilization would be told for generations to come, a testament to the indomitable spirit of a species that had once hidden in plain sight, only to emerge as the keystone of a new cosmic order. As the Unity ventured into the unknown, it carried with it the hopes and dreams of countless beings. And back on Earth, in the bustling corridors of the Galactic Cooperation Center, in the thriving cities and quiet villages, in the hearts and minds of humans and aliens alike, a simple truth resonated: the greatest adventures, the most profound discoveries, and the brightest future lay not in isolation, but in the bonds forged between diverse peoples united by a common purpose. Humanity had hidden its strength for centuries, but in revealing it, they had unlocked something far greater: the combined potential of a galaxy working as one. And so, as the stars wheeled overhead, and new challenges loomed on the cosmic horizon. The united peoples of the galaxy stood ready. Whatever came next, they would face it together. Their shared strength a beacon of hope in the vast, wondrous, and ever-mysterious expanse of the universe.